The SBU's special operation, Web, was a cold shower for Moscow, because, as it turned out, the protection of Russian aviation is as full of holes as Solovyov's narratives. And Moscow's version of UNIT could burn to the ground in just a few hours. Ukrainian special services have shown that any target on Russian territory is now vulnerable. And who knows whose eyes are watching the runway or even the lunch schedule in the military canteen. Maybe even the person serving food to a Russian pilot today will be passing information to Ukrainian special services tomorrow. Meanwhile, let's talk about how Russia is frantically trying to protect the few planes it has left. This is TSN.ua News. I'm Alina Turshin. Subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and now let's get to the main story. After Ukraine's Web operation on June 1st, Russia began constructing protective structures at some of its air bases. This is confirmed by new satellite images, as reported by the Institute for the Study of War. The Ukrainian Intelligence Organization for Intelligence Insight analyzed satellite images from July 7. They show that at the Kalino airbase in the Kursk region, Russian military forces have built about 10 fortified bunkers covered with earth, 12 concrete bunkers without earth covering, and 8 hangars. Planet Labs satellite images from June 27th also confirm the presence of fortified hangars at the Kalino airbase. In addition, images from July 9th show that at the Sake airbase in occupied Crimea, the Russians have built 2 concrete bunker-type structures. Planet Labs images from July 7th also show concrete shelters and aircraft at this base. However, at the Zinkoy airbase in occupied Crimea, satellite images from July 9th did not record any construction work. At the Dila airbase in Irkutsk region and the Alenia airbase in Murmansk region, which were damaged during the Ukrainian Operation Web, the wreckage of bombers is still visible. Russian officials and military bloggers are criticizing their leadership for failing to protect military infrastructure from Ukrainian drone strikes during the full-scale war. Analysts from the Institute for the Study of War note that Russia may be starting to build defensive structures at its air bases after 3 years of war in response to Operation Web. Let me remind you, following the results of the brilliant special operation codenamed Web, the Security Service of Ukraine officially reported 41 Russian aircraft hits. This number, which dealt a significant blow to the aggressor's air fleet, was also confirmed by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine on June 3rd. The SBU operation caused a significant stir and a wide range of reactions around the world, demonstrating Ukraine's new capabilities in asymmetric warfare and its ability to strike deep behind enemy lines. Some publications, such as The Economist, believe that this raid is rewriting the rules of war, demonstrating the vulnerability of Russian territory. The operation was unique due to its unprecedented geographical scope, up to 4,300 kilometers from Ukraine, and the method of execution. Drones, disguised in civilian trucks, were secretly transported into Russian territory and launched from within. This made it possible to bypass Russian air defense and electronic warfare systems. In the US, Operation Web was compared in terms of skill and audacity to the elimination of terrorist bin Laden and the Israeli operation with pagers. U.S. Special Envoy to Ukraine Keith Kellogg stated that this is a serious blow to Russia's image. He added that Web likely increases the risk of conflict escalation. In his opinion, the psychological effect was even more important than the material damage from the destruction of the bombers. This operation showed that Ukraine is not going to give up. Russian war correspondents and military bloggers voiced a wave of criticism, and some of them called the Web Special Operation the Russian Pearl Harbor, calling for revenge. The strategic operation temporarily reduced Russia's long-range strike capabilities, significantly boosted Ukraine's morale, and provoked internal criticism within Russia and its security apparatus. It also shed light on the evolution of drone warfare. Some military and defense experts in London called the attack a stunning success for Ukrainian special services, noting that even if only half of the claimed 41 aircraft are confirmed, it will significantly undermine Russia's ability to sustain large-scale missile barrages against Ukraine while maintaining nuclear deterrence patrols. The execution of the operation reflects Ukraine's growing sophistication in the use of drones, a field that is increasingly challenging Russia's air superiority. The head of the Security Service of Ukraine, Vasyl Malyuk, stated that in total, 34% of Russia's strategic cruise missile carriers at the main air bases of the Russian Federation have been hit. The estimated value of the enemy's damaged strategic aviation exceeds $7 billion. The planning of the operation lasted more than 18 months and was personally overseen by the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, and the head of the Security Service of Ukraine, Vasyl Malyuk. This prolonged preparation and the bold statement about the SBU's operational office near a Russian FSB facility indicate a significant level of infiltration and the development of covert infrastructure within Russia. The smuggling of drones and their components, as well as their assembly, raises questions about the scale of Ukrainian networks in Russia and the vulnerabilities of Russian counterintelligence. These aerial vehicles are not just military tools. They embody strategic potential and power. Striking these key assets deep within Russian territory shatters any illusion of their invulnerability. The reaction of Russian military bloggers to this situation was extremely intense, showing panic, open anger, and sharp criticism directed at the top leadership. This innovative method of smuggling and subsequently locally launching FPV drones at the front line essentially creates a very dangerous scenario, which can be compared to the effect of a Trojan horse penetrating the defensive line and striking from within. It allows bypassing the perimeter defenses designed to counter external threats and challenges the security of strategic facilities located far behind the front line. Although FPV drones have a limited range, they become extremely effective when launched from these pre-positioned and concealed locations. This tactic turns the vast territory of Russia, which was previously a defensive advantage, into a vulnerability if internal security and counterintelligence are unable to prevent such infiltrations. The Russian Ministry of Defense initially stated that all so-called terrorist attacks on military airfields in the Ivanova, Ryazan, and Amur regions had been repelled. Later, the authorities admitted that several aircraft had been destroyed, but there were no human casualties. Moscow called the operation a terrorist act. Russian state media refer to statements claiming that the strikes justify a nuclear response since they are aimed at strategic nuclear capabilities. The Russian response evolved from initial denial or downplaying to partial acknowledgement, mixed with accusations of terrorism and nuclear rhetoric. Thus, the operation dealt a significant, though possibly temporary, blow to Russia's strategic strike capability. The loss of irreplaceable or hard-to-replace assets has long-term consequences. In addition to replacing the aircraft, Russia will be under enormous pressure to upgrade physical security, air defense, and counterintelligence measures at dozens, if not hundreds, of strategic sites that were previously considered safe. This will divert significant financial, material, and human resources away from offensive operations or other priorities. Implementing such measures across Russia's vast territory and its numerous military facilities is a colossal task, creating significant and lasting strain on resources. The SBU operation is forcing Russia to strengthen security around its air bases. Pavutina is a landmark event in the evolution of modern warfare. It illustrates the growing power of unmanned systems. This also forces all countries to fundamentally reconsider their doctrines for protecting critical infrastructure in the face of threats. Above all, the operation demonstrates that asymmetry and technological innovation can profoundly change the balance of power in modern conflicts. The ability to replicate such operations and the defensive response they require will undoubtedly shape military strategies and security doctrines for many years to come. And what do you think about this incredible special operation by the SBU? And will Russia be able to protect its so-called aviation? Share your thoughts in the comments below this video. Stay with TSN.ua so you don't miss the most important updates. That's all from me for now. I'll see you in the next episodes.